Hey, Kevin here, top 100 financial advisor, two-time author, one-time bestseller. We're here to talk about this conspiracy theory rumor thing that has been going across the internet. And for me, for someone who tries to protect you guys against scams and fear and all things that kind of throw you off from your financial focus, I try and help you to avoid and kind of protect you against that. So if you're new to the channel, maybe you're watching this on YouTube, maybe you're watching this on Facebook, go ahead, hit the share button because I'm going to break down everything that's wrong with this meme copy and paste thing that's been floating around for the last several weeks. So we're going to break down everything that is true, which is very little, and everything that's false, which is a whole lot. And I'm going to make it make sense for people who share it and just instantly believe it. And I understand that, especially in a time where it's COVID and things don't make sense and things are very strange, both financially and otherwise, that you try and connect the dots and make things make sense. And there is a reason as to why things are the way they are. We're going to explain those and discuss what's true and what's false. All right. So again, for those who are just watching this for the first time, people have been on Facebook for quite some time, so I've been doing this every day. But again, my name is Kevin Magdu II, top 100 financial advisor, two-time author, one-time bestseller. But also, especially in regards to this, I got my degree for 4 years in economics, so I know everything when it comes to the economy. I also have a master's in digital entrepreneurship. So in this post, we're talking about money and technology and how those things work and what's true and what's not true about that. So let's go through. I'm not going to read every single line of it, but I'm going to point out some of the, the big things that tend to scare people because I want you to walk into the rest of 2020 informed so you know what's true, what's not true, and what to look out for when you're hit with something like this that could scare you. So let's talk about it. All right, so number one, the first thing that was wrong and that was incorrect was this. Dave Ramsey said this. This is not true. You can check Dave Ramsey's Twitter. You can go all the way back to July 10th. And I think I even have a post of that. I don't think I have it here, but you can go back all the way to July 10th where he has this and says, no, this is not me. I did not post this. Actually, here it is. Here, screenshot, July 10th, Dave Ramsey, not me. No. And you can see here, a lot of this stuff is copied and pasted. This was on Twitter. The one I grabbed was from Facebook. It's all very, very, very similar. Again, it's not true. Dave Ramsey did not put this out at all. So that is not, I'm not a huge Dave Ramsey fan either way, but this is not something that Dave Ramsey said. So first off, this post has already lost a lot of credibility because it ain't true. Dave never said that. So that's number one. All right, so a cashless society means no cash. Zero. It doesn't mean mostly cashless and you can still use a wee bit of cash here or there. Cashless means fully digital, fully traceable, fully controlled. I think those who support a cashless society aren't fully aware of what they're asking for. A cashless society means. All right, so that first paragraph is a lot of fear tactic stuff. When we talk about control and traceable, all that stuff, it can be good or bad depending on how you want to look at it. But if I ever lose any money, I want to know where that money is. If someone ever stole any money from me, I want to know, trace it, find my money. So it can go either way, but that's a lot of like fear and mistrust of something. And maybe sometimes that fear is justifiable, but we're just going to leave that there. But they didn't really get into super facts or claims there. So let's go ahead and move on. So number one, if you are struggling with your mortgage on a particular month, you cannot or you can't do an odd job to get you through. In a cashless society, it says. So this is not true. This is not true at all. Because when you go to an Uber, you do not pay that Uber driver in cash. And a lot of times these Uber drivers are using this to get by on mortgages or student loans or what have you. So no, you can still do an odd job without having cash. I don't know who said that. that is patently false. Like, Go ask an Uber driver. You don't believe me? Go ask an Uber driver. Do they get paid in cash? That answer is no. My barber doesn't even get paid in cash anymore. He signs me up through an app. And I pay him out of my PayPal or Cash App or something like that. So no, that is not true at all. Your child can't go help the local farmer to earn a bit of summer cash. That's not true either, because a local farmer can still pay you via Venmo or Cash App. He can still pay you in cash because we're not cashless, but in a cashless society, you can still do that. This is almost exactly what Venmo and Cash App were created for, to pay people instantly so that they have money. So that's not true at all. No more cash slipped into the hands of a child as a good luck charm from their grandparents when going on holidays. Okay, maybe. We're not traveling right now anyway, so it's not a big deal, but I will give you that one. Yes, if we are 100% cashless, grandma can't slide me a $2 bill. Okay. No more money in birthday cards. I'm going to say not really anyway, because a lot of us have already moved to gift cards because we want to spend money at the places that we want to spend money at. So, that's halfway false there. But that's not necessarily the case. And yeah, you can still Venmo and stuff there too, but in terms of birthday cards, people tend to move towards gift cards anyway. So that's not necessarily true. No more piggy banks for your child to collect money and learn about the value of earning. To a degree, if we were in a cash society, that is probably true, because if nobody's using cash, then you're right. Who's going to use a piggy bank? Now, the other option is, I would argue, is how many people are using piggy banks now? I don't know. That I don't know. All right, no more putting cash away on a rainy day fund or something special that you have been doing for, like, you've been putting away $20 a week for. That's not true. That's not true at all. You guys know, if you follow me for a while, and I've been doing this for 10 years now in the personal finance space, that you can easily set up a recurring transfer from your savings or from your checking to your savings and put money away that way. That's how I save for my vacations. That's how I save for my holiday spending. It's easily $20 a week, goes into this account, it transfers automatically, so I don't have to worry about it. Come Christmas time, I blow the money on gifts for my wife and kids. You can still do that. In fact, that doing it digitally is probably the easiest way to do it, so you don't have to physically remind yourself to do it every week. You're relying on willpower. Like, I'm gonna go to the gym every day. Most of us ain't doing that. But if you have it on a system, you are likely not to fail. So this one's not true at all, because you can still put money away just by hitting transfer. The money moves and it goes somewhere else. So you don't have to worry about it. All right, no more little jobs on the side because your wages barely cover the bills to put food on the table. That's not true. We talked about that one earlier. No more charity donations. That's not true either. A lot of charities take any form of payment, including checks. Checks are still a thing, and sometimes they still take them. Other times they may take direct ACH. When I donate to my school, which is technically a nonprofit, I donate, and they give my bank account route number, and the money goes directly to them every single month. So you can still donate to charities. You can still donate to schools. Churches are on Cash App now, so you can still do that. All right, no more selling bits of pieces from your home that you no longer want for a bit of a cash return. Not true. There's a whole app called OfferUp that does that. Facebook has a Facebook Marketplace or something. You can still do these things. There are so many apparatuses or apps or however you want to call it. There's so many ways to do this. No more cash gifts from relatives or loved ones. Okay, maybe they can still send you the money through all of the things I've already mentioned. All right, so that one I'm gonna leave alone. So what a cashless society does guarantee is what they say: banks have full control over every single penny you own. Not really. They don't actually control the money you have. That money is yours. They don't just, freeze account. The government can freeze your account. Now, that's true. If you are behind on taxes or child support, yeah, they're gonna jack your money with or without a bank account. They will go to your job and say, look, this paycheck, it don't go to this person no more. So that actually doesn't have anything to do with cash. That's also the government, not the banks. Those are two separate things. Every transaction that you make is recorded. Now, that is true that if we are in a cashless society, every transaction is recorded. Is that a bad thing? No. I like to know where my money is going. So if I took out money, I used to live in New York City. If I took out money and I went and bought some halal food and I went and got me an ice cream cone, and then at the end of the day, I'm like, hey, I had $20, I only have $6. What happened to our money? There's no real way for me to trace that. I would prefer to know exactly where I'm spending my money. Now, some people don't. That's fine. But that's technically true. Every transaction would be recorded. I would also argue that, you technically most transactions are already recorded, because if you get direct deposit or you go cash a check, that is recorded. When you go withdraw the money and say, I took out $700, that is recorded. And then whatever you do after that is whatever you do. All right, all your movements and actions are traceable. That's not totally true, because it doesn't have anything to do with a cashless society. If I have a cell phone, all of my movements are tracked. If I'm on Facebook, Instagram, anything, all that stuff is tracked and traced with or without cash. I can walk out of this house with a pocket full of money, of just actual cash, and as long as I got my phone, I'm tracked and traced. If I take it and just have my credit card and I still have my phone, I'm still tracked and traced. That doesn't make any difference there. It doesn't. Even with traffic cams and all these other things that are out there, you're gonna be tracked and traced. GPS, my Fitbit watch has GPS on it. If you're gonna be tracked and traced, has nothing to do with the actual cash. Now, if you want to eliminate the phone and eliminate the credit card and the watch and all the other stuff and just be tech free, that's fine. But remember, that has nothing to do with the cash. That has everything to do with everything else that you have in your life. All right. Access to your money can be blocked with a click of a button when and if banks need clarification from you, which will take about 3 weeks and thousands of answers to questions and 5,000 passwords. So I'm pretty sure that's exaggeration. Let's break this part down. So number one, it almost never takes 3 weeks to do most bank transactions. If anything, it'll take you a max of 3 to 5 business days. And that is a maximum. That almost never happens as much anymore. If you have an app like Zelle or Chase Pay or Cash App or Venmo, that is instant. You can even go and say Bitcoin is even faster than that. Well, I don't know what's faster than instant, but you can say Bitcoin, which is really quick as well. So this whole 3 weeks thing, that's not really true. That's not really true at all. Could they be blocked? Yes, if you're doing something illegal. Yeah, it could be blocked if you do something illegal. They're not gonna. I worked at a bank. Nobody asked thousands of questions. Nobody at the bank has time for that either. Now, if you're doing something illegal, it still ain't gonna be 1,000 questions. It'll probably be like 7, and then you're going to jail if you're doing something illegal, which most of us aren't doing. All right, you have no choice but to declare to be taxed on every dollar in your possession. You are supposed to have been taxed on the vast majority of the dollars that you have in your possession anyway. So this would be dodging taxes. And it is true that if you are only paid in cash, you could reduce your taxes illegally. So that's not the best thing. You do want some sort of paper trail to say, look, this is how much I made from cutting yards. This is how much I made from lemonade sales or whatever it is. I think the limit, I forgot what the limit is for kids, but even kids, if they make over a certain amount, they're technically supposed to report that as well. So you are supposed to be taxed on that. If you make X amount of dollars after a certain amount, you do need to report that. So yeah, if it's digital, you can argue that unless it's gifts and things like that, you can argue around that a little bit, but if you are doing work and you are getting paid for that work, you are supposed to be taxed on it. You are not supposed to just take the cash underhand and not report any of that. So if you are doing that, that is technically illegal. So yeah, cashless society is going to going to force you to comply with the law. That's the law. That's been the case for forever. That's always been the case. All right, the government will decide what you can and cannot purchase. That is not true at all. That is not true. They're not going to care whether you buy milk or bread or whatever. The government is actually incentivized to allow you to spend as much as possible. That's why they raise and lower interest rates. And that's why interest rates are low now, because they want you to just go spend and stimulate the economy. The more that you spend on the more things that you spend, that's the more tax revenue the city, state, and national level. They want you to spend because they need that tax revenue. If you don't spend and you sit at home and you do nothing, the government, city, state, federal, don't get their money. And then that becomes a problem. So they're not going to really decide what you can and cannot purchase. Almost no government really does that. That doesn't make any sense. If your transactions are deemed questionable in any way by those who create the questions, which is strange, your money will be frozen, quote, for your own good. That doesn't really make any sense. So working at a bank, no one has time to comb through each and every one of your transactions. You bought 50 things from Amazon. Nobody's scrolling through there and say, look, you bought a red shirt. You should take that shirt back and we're going to freeze everything. That's not a thing. People have been using digital cash or however you want to word it for years now. And that has not ever happened one time that someone combed through their transactions and told them they couldn't do something just because they bought something that was questionable and for their own good. No one does that. And no, there's no incentive for anyone to do that either. Like who really cares about your own good? Like think about that. It does not, it benefits Amazon for you to spend more money. It actually benefits the bank for you to spend more money too. Like no one is incentivized to stop you from spending. Really, almost nobody. So that's not true. Your transactions are deemed questionable. Okay, so that was because I had to cut this in two because it was so long. So that's the same one from earlier. Forget about cash being dirty. Stop being so easily led. So cash is dirty. We know it's dirty. We've been knowing that before the virus. So yes, spending cash and handling paper and coins is a really great way to spread a disease that you don't want. Cash, let's go back. Cash, it gives you independence. I mean, so does the debit card, but okay. I heard a story where a man supposedly contracted COVID because he had a $20 bill that he handed somebody. Okay, should have washed your hands. Okay, the same chance, and this is the funny part to me, there is the same chance of COVID being on a card than being on cash. If you cannot see how utterly ridiculous this assumption is, then there's little hope. So there's a little hope for the person who wrote this, and here's why. Okay, so this is a huge no. No. Here's why. When you have cash and you spend cash, I mean, we've all had a dollar. I don't have any on me right now. It's in my other pocket. But essentially, if I take $1 and I give you $1, you take that dollar and give it to somebody else, and somebody else, and somebody else, and somebody else, and that dollar literally circulates the world and back. Okay, so that's number one. When you have your card does not go through 50 different people. It goes from you and it swipes at the register. Even if you swipe it, sometimes we have the contactless, but it doesn't have to touch anything, right? So if anything, you have the card, you give it to the cashier comes back, and it's just you and somebody else one time, and that's it. And you can, wipe it down and sanitize it if you really wanted to. You also use Apple Pay to use your phone and not touch anything. So that literally does not make any sense. So that's number one, because when you get $1, you get change, you don't know where the change came from. You don't know how many people had it. We have dollar bills and quarters and nickels from the 1960s. Your card has to be replaced every 2 or 3 years. So for a fact that is not true. If I have a substance that's been around for 30 or 40 years, something that's older than me, it's dirty because it's never been washed. And you are not going home and washing your money and scrubbing each and every dollar bill. That's not true. That is not true at all. So that's number one. Number two, we know that in anything, when viruses, diseases, all that kind of stuff, it actually lasts longer on metal. So it lasts longer on nickels, quarters, pennies, whatever it is, more so than it does cash. So this ridiculous assumption is really not the brightest thing in the world. Because yes, now I don't know if someone contracted COVID from a $20 bill, and I'm not sure if that person would even know if that's where they got it from. So I think that's pretty stupid on its own. We know that most viruses don't even last that long on paper, maybe 2 hours max. So that doesn't make any sense either. But no, it is not the same chances, because dollars circulate over and over and over and over and over and over again. They sit in the cash register and they passed on from person to person to person to person to person, and the dollar may or may not actually get back to you. Your card actually goes from your pocket to the register back in your pocket, and you are controlling it the entire time. You can sanitize it, or you can not use it and just use contactless pay or something like that. So that makes no sense at all. Sorry. All right, if you're a customer, pay with cash. If you're a shop owner, remove these ridiculous signs that ask people to pay pay by card. So actually, there's a good and bad to this part here. So if you're a customer, so I'll just do this part by part. So if you're a customer, let's do it this way. If you're a customer, pay with cash. No, if you're a customer, you pay however in the world you want to pay. I went to a restaurant today. I actually paid in cash because I had cash in my pocket. Okay. When I feel like using my card, I use my card. You, as a customer, you pay however in the world you feel like paying, period. If you are a shop owner, remove these ridiculous signs that ask people to pay per card. Now, this one, I'm somewhat with. So there are two reasons from a shop owner perspective why you may or may not want somebody to use cash or use card. If you're a shop owner, some shop owners, depending on where you are, especially if you're like doing like legal marijuana, you prefer people to be using more cards because if people know that you are a cash only business, you only have cash, and this is the only thing you ever do, you are actually a target for robbery because guess what? It's not traceable. So if they come and they steal your bag, that's it. Ain't no insurance, ain't no fraud claims, nothing. It's gone. So if you are a 100% cash on business, you know that there is dangers to being cash only. So a lot of stores try to move all the way to cashless, which is not good. So I'm not saying that 100% cashless is a great thing. It's not, because there are a lot of us who are unbanked or underbanked. And it doesn't make sense when someone says, well, it's card only. It was like, look, but I got the money right here. That doesn't make sense. Also, again, if you don't have a bank or you don't want to go through the fees and some of the hardships that may or may not come with the bank, that's an issue too. If you are, fresh coming to the country and you don't have all the stuff you need just yet to have a bank and you can't buy stuff, that's not cool either, even if you actually have the money. So that one's in between. No, I don't think it should be a requirement either way, but in the context of a virus, which is where we are, it makes more sense to shift people more towards to card. But in my experience, I lived in New York, then I moved to Texas, then I moved to North Carolina. Not once ever have I been rejected by giving someone actual cash. Never been rejected. I don't think that is a thing. Also, some cities and states, and I'll show you here. See, where is it? Here we go. As you can see, this is from 2020 in February. Philadelphia, San Francisco, and the state of New Jersey are banning cashless stores anyway. So it is not a thing where people are trying to move to 100% cashless. This is not popular. Most people do not want that because it shuts out an entire market. And also, if I'm a customer, you're going to take whatever I pull out of my pocket. If it's cash, you're going to take it. If it's a card, you're going to take it. I don't want to hear it. So that's not a big thing either. All right, and let's finish this out. Banks are making it increasingly difficult to, let's see. All right, banks are making it increasingly difficult to lodge cash. Not solely sure what you mean by that. It has nothing to do with the virus, nor has this dirty money trend. Money has always been dirty. I don't think banks are making it more increasingly difficult to do much of anything. If anything, they're making it easier to pay people and get paid. All right, so please open your eyes. Please stop believing everything you're told. I roll here. Almost every single topic in today's world is tainted with corruption and hidden agendas. Like this person, whoever wrote this has a hidden agenda because you lied at the very top and said that Dave Ramsey said this, and he did not. So you're talking about yourself. Please stop telling me and others, whoever this person is, and others like me, what's wrong with the world when you held the most corrupt members of society as heroes. Okay. Politics and greed is what's wrong with the world, not those who are trying to alert you of reality when you're blindly floating along while it's feeling immobilized by irrational fear. Y'all see my face. This entire post is mobilized by irrational fear. All right. Fear created to keep you doing and believing exactly what you are complacently doing. Okay. pay with cash, and please say no to cashless society while you still have a choice. Copied and pasted, share if you like. All right, so that was it. That was the entire thing. So it got real rough, that last paragraph. But again, relax. Nobody's really trying to push a cashless society. I've already just shown you, and I'll show you guys again. Philadelphia, San Francisco, New Jersey, Massachusetts, back in 1978, as you can see right here, have exclusively said we're not trying to move towards a cashless society because it's actually not the best thing in the world. There is a place for cash. There is a place for card. There's a place for cash. There's a place for Venmo. That's okay. And you should be able to have both. No one's trying to push anybody to a 100% cashless society for any reason. And I doubt that that will ever be a thing. Cash is legal tender, so you kind of have to take it in most cases. Now, there is, now in the context of a pandemic, which we know that can be passed on objects, it does make sense to not take physical cash. They do have to accept it, but a lot of times they have gloves on, which is why they do it. So yeah, it's strange. Now, I will say we are in a coin shortage, and that has something that's had nothing to do with the cashless society. That is more so because there aren't many stores open. So if stores aren't open and people aren't buying and selling things, and the money's not actually circulating. So that's why we're in a coin shortage. And also the U.S. Mint that makes the money, they had to shut down and not have so many people there. So that's the reason. They're not making as many, and people aren't spending and turning those coins over there. Some stores just haven't opened back up. Bars being one of them. They can't open. You can't buy and sell change, which means they can't get around to all the stores, and the money's not circulating. So that's why that's happening. But yeah, there is no grand plot from the man trying to force everything to go cashless. I've showed you the laws, all the laws on the books, or some of the laws on the books that are preventing 100% cashless, because it's not a great thing. Also, there are some benefits to going cashless, but it's very, 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 very easy to spot all the lies. The first one at the very top is that Dave Ramsey did not say this. That was from the first line, the first word, this whole thing wasn't true. Yes, you can still pay your mortgage. If this were a cashless society, you could still pay your mortgage. Come on now. Go ask an Uber driver, like I said earlier. So this video is getting long. I'm just here to let you guys know, like, I understand that people are afraid. I understand a lot of stuff is going down. I understand that the market can be moving up along as well, which also, sidebar, if you can't just be cashless, you can't walk into any bank or any investment firm and say, hey, here's a bag of money, invest it for me. I think that's pretty illegal too. You can only have a check or have like a transfer or payment. You can't do it in cash. And that's like almost always been the case. So that's sidebar. But again, don't buy this. Don't fall for it. Understand and think critically. Ask yourself just a few questions to see if this makes sense. A Google search will go a long way too. All right, so that's it for me. Again, Kevin Matthews, top 100 financial advisor, 2-time author, 1-time bestseller. And I'm here Monday through Fridays, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, to talk about these things and to help you to understand what's actually going on with your money. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.